Real Madrid, we've talked about the grandiosity, right, of this club.
The what?
Grandiosity.
Is that a word? Is that a word?
Yes, it is a word.
Grandiosity.
Who's she?
Look it up. It is a word. Okay, we've talked about just their reputation in Europe, right? The legacy, the pedigree that they have. They have been the standard in Europe for the last, decade at least, right? Does this game signify any change in that? Has that now passed?
Past what? No.
You still think that Real Madrid will be the standard bearer in European football?
They reached a semi-final. They won it. Before that, they lost in the semi-final. They're always here, competing. And it's a Barca guy talking. It's like, I don't want to praise them, but you have to give them their credit. They're always competing, regardless of where it is. 50s, 60s, 80s, 90s, 2000. They're always around.
Were you surprised with Real Madrid today, though? The way they set up and...
We were talking about it, and we all thought that Rudiger was going to play. Jamie was going to do a piece about it because that was in his mind. I thought that they made a mistake, yes. And who am I to say about Ancelotti what you did was wrong? Because it's easy to say. If he did it well, say, oh my God, what an idea he had. Obviously, he doesn't do it. You're like, you should have done the other one. But I really thought that Rudiger was going to start, and Jamie, you say it because that's what you thought.
Yeah, I mean, I just think the biggest problem they had was not just not playing Rudiger was a knock-on effect, because I think if they'd have played Rudiger, they maybe would have stiffened the midfield up a little bit more in terms of putting Camavinga in there, and the midfield just couldn't cope in terms of Modric. Probably one of the poorest games we've seen him play over the last 4 or 5 years, Modric in the Champions League. He just wasn't at the races. He's only just come back from an injury, of course, as well. But him, Cruz and Valverde in there, they just couldn't get to grips with. They were always outnumbered as well. It's a big pitch, the quality of Manchester City. And I think that probably was a mistake not to play Rudiger from Carlo Ancelotti. And I was just a bit surprised he didn't make a change at half-time as well. It took him until, I think it was 60 minutes before he made his first change, which was bringing Modric off and Rudiger on. But so surprised by that. But, I agree with Thierry that they're year in, year out. No one can win every single season. And they are playing against the best team in Europe at this moment.
Can I ask a question? I know you kind of dismissed what I said about is it the kind of the passing of an era with Real Madrid. Just in terms of Carlo Ancelotti and his future,
I didn't dismiss it. It's Real Madrid. They will survive.
Sneered your lip at me, so
they will survive. It's Real Madrid.
It
doesn't matter who plays for that team. The shirt survives. Big teams survive. The shirt stays there. You leave, shirt stays there. The crest stays there. They survive.
Okay, so the question I was going to ask you now was about Carlo Ancelotti and his future, because obviously there's been a huge amount of talk. Brazil have made it very clear we want him.
Oh, that's
right?
a different question then.
They've struggled in the league. It is a different question.
Okay,
You're right, Thierry. I'm not arguing you on that. So, struggle in the league, right? Disappointing result in the league season domestically. Go out in the semi-finals, which by most club standard is a very good result, right? What about Carlo Ancelotti's future at Real Madrid? Do you expect to see him in the manager's chair next season, or do you think there might be a change?
I think he will go to Brazil. I think the players have been vocal. Real Madrid is really weird in a way, because I remember Del Bosque winning the Champions League, then he left. Real Madrid don't wait for nobody. That's how it is. I had Carlo as a coach. I love Carlo Ancelotti. I just think that it looks like he might be going to Brazil with the way the players are talking, the way he was. Hopefully he can stay there, because I think he's very comfortable there. But yeah, I can see that happening.